welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sharon Vadano show. I started this show because when I was building my coaching business, everyone's saying, how did you do this? And how did you do when? And, they just always wanted to know the different things that I did. So I said, you know what, I can serve more people if I just have a show and I bring different people in to just share with the tools with all of you, some of the tools that I learned, and these help me in so many ways. So today I'm welcoming Roxana Zaya. Roxana's in the house. Roxana is a master of the speaking stage and acclaimed author of Speaker Mastery. She elevates speakers to deliver epic performances by mastering body language, dramatic staging, and persuasive communication. Roxana's private VIP days offer the fastest transformations in the industry and allowing speakers to exponentially increase their sales and impact. So welcome, Roxana. So glad you are here. Personally, I'd say Roxana has coached me and has really brought my speaking to a different level, and I'm just so grateful for her. So I'm so happy she's here to share these tools with you. So welcome, Roxana.
Thank you so much for having me. Sharon has been an amazing contribution to my life as well. I know we're here to learn about speaking, but I just have to toot your horn for you because you are a transformation coach, former criminal defense attorney, and you blow my mind. You have so much knowledge, so much love, so much generosity, and the way that you held space for everybody, it's an honor to be a part of your show. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So Roxana, I know that we had talked before. You told me that many times our stories is actually our superpower. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Story is the superpower. So here's the thing. Let me just share my screen really fast so that this will support everybody who's watching. If you're driving, then you can watch the replay. And I just want to let you know that there are some things on here that don't relate. These are 5 things. So we're going to go over just 3 things today, right? We only have time for 3. Yep. Okay. So you said that your story is your superpower. And so what if I told you that the fastest way to grow your business is through your story? And the biggest thing that holds people back, it is your story, but it's how you deliver it. Because if people are sharing their story specifically from just a chronological event, when I was 12, this happened, and then my dad came in the room, and then he said this, and then I felt that, and it's this chronological, long, drawn-out experience, then we will lose people's attention. And some of the biggest mistakes that speakers make is thinking that the story is going to attract clients. And it's not so much the story, but rather how you tell the story. And 93% of communication is nonverbal. So therefore, your body speaks much louder than your words do. And this is so true because if your audience isn't feeling something, then it's just a monologue. And I've worked with clients many times, and I've even had some group trainings and different things. And I'll say, hey, tell me your story. What is your story? And the first thing that comes out is the detail, right, of all the different things that happen. But like, what is the problem? What's the actual problem? From the story. What did you solve? What is the solution? What is the discovery? What are the different components of your story that's actually going to make a difference and transform people's lives? Does that make sense?
Beautiful. Yes, yes. And when you're telling the story, I know that you've also mentioned a little bit about body language. And you said that our body can speak louder than our words. Can you expand on that a little bit? I know I like to talk with my hands a lot. So I know Roxana actually coached me, not to be like all over the place. So if you can just expand on that a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If your body is running the show because of nerves or anxiety, stress, then you become more focused on yourself and how you look and how you show up, and are you going to memorize your words? You become more self-absorbed and self-focused. We call it speaking from the ego mind. The ego mind is designed to keep us safe, and it also collects evidence to prove our beliefs that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or this is too hard, or I don't know if all the different belief systems. So to get to your question, the body, when you connect body language with the words that you speak, and they're in congruency, that they are congruent, then the message lands. Not only does the message land, you build authority, you build trust, you build credibility, you build the audience listening and absorbing, leaning in versus tuning out. So a story comes with a framework. We have to tell the story in 3 different parts. And when you match the body language with that, when you talk about where the story lives, I always say that with my clients. Where does the story live? You know, can I give a quick example?
Yes, please.
Okay, excellent. I was working with this one client. His name was Adam. And he got up to the front of the room and he told everybody, he goes, "My name is Adam and I'm in the top 2% of podcasters." And I said, "Wait a minute. You're what?" He goes, "Well, I'm in the top 2%." I said, "Top 2?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Isn't that kind of a big deal?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "So where's top 2 live? Where is top 2?" And he goes, "Oh, well, it's like up here." I said, "Oh, so then you're in the top 2%, right?" And as opposed to down here with fingers pointing down. So you see, he was minimizing his success, his, because somewhere inside of him, perhaps he didn't believe he had achieved, or it wasn't enough achievement, or maybe he was trying not to come across cocky or egotistical or whatever it might be. And I said, "So are you in the top 2 or are you in the top 2?" And the whole audience just started laughing. It was so amazing. So when your body language connects with your words as top 2%, then people go on that journey with you while you're telling your story.
So, in other words, when you're telling your story, it's almost like musical theater in a sense that you are telling a story and you're giving an example. It's not just standing there very stiff and very monotone. So you're actually being expressive with your body as well.
Yes. So it's no secret that I have a background in theater. I've told everybody that. That's where I got a lot of my choreography and language from, and part of my training methodology. And here's the thing. Did you know that if you speak and share your story and your message and the transformation that you want people to have only in your style, your learning style, you will miss out on everybody else. See, not
Can you?
everybody is audio, right?
Uh, I was going to say expand on that.
I think it's like you read my mind because you've been through some of my trainings, like you already know where I'm going with this. Not everybody is audio. If you're just speaking, then it becomes a monologue, right? And so the body gestures, the hand gestures, your where you stand on stage, even here in Zoom, you can see how much I'm moving, right? Even here in a little tiny box that's 1 inch by 1 inch, you can still use space. And I always say do Zoom standing up so that you can actually demonstrate that. But let me go back to what I was saying. Using body language will reach the other learning styles in the audience. Some of them are kinesthetic, some of them are visual, some of them are audio digital, and that means that they decide things through logic, right? And so it becomes a whole performance, not just your words, not just your body, not just the system, but everything becomes an entire performance and it lives inside of us. I just help people bring it out.
Got it. And for example, one of the suggestions that Roxana had given me was when you're talking about the past, when I'm saying a signature story, I would go to my right, which would be the viewer's left, and I tell the story. And then when I'm talking about the present, I would go back to the middle and explain why. Does that have any psychological enforcement behind that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you get a book and you open the book, right, the first thing you're going to see is you're going to start reading from left to right. That's how you read. Where's the period on the end of a sentence? The right side. So when you think about where you want to end up, where do you want to end? Where do you want your clients to end? You take them from the beginning and you take them on the journey to the end, the future. That is the future that you get to achieve. So when you talk about your story, speak from the past where it lives. It lives over there in the past, the beginning of the story, the beginning of the book, the beginning of the chapter, the beginning of your presentation. That's where it lives. It also lives in the past because we don't want to take, because I ask my clients to go deep and talk about the emotional resonance with it so that the audience can connect. We don't want to bring that with us into our present, into our future. So we want to leave it there and we want to take people on that journey.
Very
Does that
good,
make
very good.
sense?
It does. And it's been so impactful in when I've actually used that, when I remember to use that in some of my speaking. So, it's, as I continue to speak and grow in this craft, I try to remember all the tips that you gave me. So thank you for that. When you had mentioned before, you said something about the best speakers don't pitch, they actually prime. So what does that mean? If you can explain that.
Let's see. Let's find that in here. There we go. From the start. So the best speakers don't preach, they prime. How many times has anybody here on this call or anybody that you know or anywhere that you've ever watched somebody and it feels like when they get to the end of the presentation, it feels like a pitch fest, right? Okay, everybody, like they clap their hands, let's get started now. It's almost as if the presentation just started again. And then they start going through their offer, their prices, and here's how you can work with me. And then all of a sudden it's over and it just feels like this big rush and feels like they're throwing it in and it feels completely disjointed and separate from the rest of the presentation. Has anybody ever felt like that here? I don't know if you've ever seen one, experienced one, witnessed one, maybe even gave one, but we won't tell. I won't tell. Um, in my program, I teach clients that the best way to close and to make that conversion and to make the sale is from the very beginning, right? You see, when you start planting the seeds from the beginning using NLP strategies, using hypnotic language, oh, and by the way, Sharon, don't let me confuse anybody when I say hypnotic language, because if you want to enroll your children to clean their room, you use hypnotic language, right?
Can
Know what that.
can you yeah, yes, and that's yeah, thank you for clearing that up because I think people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, we're hypnotizing our listeners, and that's not quite it. Can I go back just really quickly? You had
Yeah.
mentioned NLP. Can you explain what that is?
Yes, good catch. So NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. When we say things like, oh, it's hard to lose weight, then your reticular activating system of your brain, which is a scientific nerve area of the brain that goes out to prove what you say is true and collect evidence. And this happens automatically. And then suddenly you will find all the evidence to prove that losing weight is hard. And so what we do instead is we reframe it. So we would say losing weight is not easy. See, the brain cannot, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. The brain translates words by means of pictures. It doesn't see the letter and the spelling and then understand the definition. It sees the word, like elephant, and then it pictures an elephant. And so when we say it's hard, it pictures something that is maybe impermeable, a rock, a wall, brick, cement. You think of something heavy and hard and solid. And when we say the word easy, we can picture free flowing, maybe air, open space, whatever it might be. So when there is no picture for the word N-O-T, there's a picture for K-N-O-T, like tie your shoelaces in a knot, but there is no picture for N-O-T. So the brain automatically deletes or distorts that word, leaving the phrase, it's easy. And so you can hypnotize yourself and your audience and your loved ones, your kids, to clean their room by saying, I understand it's not easy to clean up your room. I understand that it's not what you really want to do right now. So you delete the word
Okay.
not, it's what you want to do right now. This is hypnotic language. This is hypnotizing your audience. You want your spouse to take out the trash and help with the honeydew list. We're using it all the time. It's to our benefit. It creates a win-win. You speak in a way that allows the audience, your loved one, your friends, your family, right? Whoever it might be, to engage with you without it being a demand, without it being a instruction, right? Like we're not dictating to people, we're enrolling them. And that's what NLP means, or hypnotic language.
So, in other words, maybe an example is like when we're doing our workshops and we're asking people, how many of you are understanding me? And you just say, put yes in the chat. And if we do that several times, is that kind of encouraging the yes factor within our listeners at that point?
Yes, and that leads me to another component of the fifth pillar of my program called Killer Close. I came up with Speak Method, SPEAK, and K is Killer Close. And in there, I talk about NLP, how we drop that throughout the entire presentation, and then exactly what you said. 3 times to get people to raise their hands or to say yes to something primes them. So instead of pitching at the end, we prime them throughout the entire presentation by having people say yes to something. By the time you get to the end, they're already a yes, and you have them envisioning exactly what you want them to envision from the beginning, and you don't save it to the end, right? So can you all see now how this would change your life? Yes. Can you all imagine what it'd be like if you had the ability to speak and sell from stage? Can you all imagine how fast it would be if you just implemented the NLP in your language? Yes. Right. So you just asking the audience is another format for priming the audience so that they are more apt to want to enroll. They're already a yes before you even get to the question.
Beautiful, beautiful. I can see how all these tips can really enhance one's speaking ability and ability to communicate to the audience and communicate effectively. So,
Yes.
do you have any last minute parting words or tips? Or actually, how can our listeners get a hold of you if they want more information about you?
Easy day. So I'm all over social media for roxanazaya.com. If you don't know how to spell it because it's different, please check out the video and the links and whatnot. I also am giving everybody who wants to sign up a free 5-tip guide that's going to explain not only what we went over today, but all 5 pieces. And so if you want that free 5 tips, here we go. Let's just show you. It's this 5 power moves to instantly elevate your speaking game. We have that ready for you in the wherever you're going to put it, Sharon. I'm not sure.
Beautiful. Yeah. If you can send me all those links, you might
Okay.
have already, but I'll double check those links.
Yes.
I will email those to everyone who has registered to this call
Yes.
specifically. And then it will be on the replay as well. So everybody can
Yeah.
get access to those links as well. Yep. I see some celebrating hands. Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And I just want to
Wonderful.
say one thing. If your gestures do not move your message forward, fire it. That's my biggest tip for you today. Fire your gesture.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Roxana. It's been a pleasure. So, so grateful for your coaching for me as well. And I think it's really elevated my coaching, my speaking. So thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Have a great day,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Thank you for coming to the Sharon Vadano Show. I hope you had an amazing time and these tools served you. My intention is to help you help others. If you love the show, come find me on YouTube and Rumble. Tell your friends, and I'll see you at the next episode.